Your son cannot marry a Muslim. Your son cannot marry a Christian. That is a taboo. But can marry Sakawa?
Anya pani is what got to be hangoma. Bihama Gilman, Darsan, Karaman, Mojizambara. Pap to Zomoko on Bakagura, the Bian to Haluna.
I don't think we have achieved yet. I think we are still undertaking the journey.
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
All too soon is another week, and I welcome you again to my Northern Achiever on Sagani TV with me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli. I am a son of Musafu. And today, as usual, I have a very, very great guest in my midst. And like we always do it every week, I'm going for a very quick commercial break. And when I come back, I'll introduce my guest and we start the program. Do stick and stay and don't move a muscle, because if you do, you are going to miss a lot of fun and advice. I'm back shortly after this commercial break. Thank you so much for hooking on to my Northern Achiever. You are welcome back from the commercial break. My name is Abdul-Jalil Naabeli. I am a son of Musafu, and today my guest is an educationist, a disciplinarian, and so many things that you get to know about this special man today. My guest today is none other than the retired educationist, Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman Saani, popularly known as Shani. Sir, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We are so grateful that you have squeezed out time to speaking to us today. And I am particularly honored because, it is a rare privilege to have such a personality like you on the show of this nature. So we thank you so much for, honoring our invitation. Now, I'm going to start by asking you to give me a brief background of yourself before we move proper into the program.
Thank you very much for having me. I am Mohammed Saani Abdul-Rahman, born in Chowo.
Okay.
Let me be frank, I actually don't know the actual date of my birth, but counting backwards, I believe
Okay.
that I was born in 1955.
Wow.
I attended Chogo Primary School, that one in 1960.
Okay.
It's, then, after P6, I moved on to Calpahen Middle School.
Okay.
Yes, that was in 1966. I wrote the common entrance examination in 68, passed, and then I proceeded to Tamale Secondary School. Then it was It was government secondary school, then turned to Tamale Secondary School. But we ended up Form 5 in Tamale School. I was there for 5 years, wrote my O levels in 1973.
Okay.
Now, after passing the O level exams, I continued same Tamale School to the sixth form.
Okay.
So I completed my sixth form studies in 1975.
Wow.
Yes, 75. I read science.
Wow.
Then I came out. I had a small stint at Ghana Secondary School, less than a year,
Okay.
and then proceeded to the University of Cape Coast. 76. I was in the University of Cape Coast. Did the 4-year program. We were the second batch of the 4-year program in Cape Coast. It was originally a 3-year program.
Okay.
Now, when I completed University of Cape Coast, I came back to Ghana Secondary School to do my national service. Because that was in 1980.
Okay.
After 1980, that was the time Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman was the headmaster. I applied to remain in Ghana Secondary School. So I stayed in Ghana Secondary School until 1989, thereabout.
Okay.
And then I moved to the Secondary School as the assistant headmaster.
Okay.
So, should I continue? And complete everything.
Okay. All right. I think I think it's okay like that for now. And we'll try to get to a lot of the details as we move on. But haven't told me a little about yourself, and even I like the way you have profiled it. But where did you grow up and how was your childhood like?
Interesting. I grew up in Togo.
Okay.
Now they call it Hilltop.
Yes.
Yes, Togo. I grew up. I was born there. I grew up there. My parents were not that rich. I'm from a poor parentage.
Okay.
At least my father was a peasant farmer, and my mother was a petty trader, selling things in the market.
Okay.
Yes, so that was how I started with my parents.
Okay.
When I grew up, I was attending the Makaranta school. Then after some time, one of my uncles, Ibrahim Adam, he was the assemblyman for Chogo sometime. Yes, he told us he was already in Chogo primary, so he told us that we should go and tell my grandfather that I also wanted to go to school. And that was one boy, Adamson. We call it Adamson, Ali Adam, and myself. So we rushed to my grandfather and told him that, oh, we want to go to school. Our colleagues are also in school. Our peers are in school. So my grandfather looked at us and told us that, okay, Shani, go and tell your father. No, he was my grandfather.
Okay.
But Alido was a direct son.
Okay.
So he told me that I should go and tell my father that I would like to go to school, but that Alido should stay. So I left the Makaranta elated. I ran to my mother and I told my mother started weeping.
Wow.
I went to my father said, oh, then you can go. So the first time I went to the primary school, I was in a cover club.
Yeah.
Because my mother wouldn't allow me to take anything and go to school. So I took my cloth, went to school. Then they told us to put our arms around our head.
So that you measure which classroom
if your hand reaches your ear, then you were qualified to go to school. I did that. Luckily, I was successful.
Wow.
So I started the primary one there. It wasn't easy, but that's the joy that you were in school.
Yeah.
Actually, I was in school because I was in school and I was told to go to school.
Wow.
By an uncle.
So, how were you raised as a child?
Well, I was with my parents.
Okay.
Monday to Friday, we go to school. By early in the morning, what we used to do, early in the morning, after the morning prayer, around 5:30, you go to Makaranta. Then 7:30 to 8, you close, you bath, and then you go to the primary school. Then on Saturday, you go to the farm.
Okay.
Sometimes, if we are not going to the farm, my grandfather had a horse. We'll go and cut grass for the horse. So that was what...
were you raised with strict disciplinary,
Oh! You see that I shout sometimes. Yeah, that is hereditary. Yeah, people don't understand. Sometimes I tell them that, it's hereditary.
Okay.
All my siblings speak that with a shout.
Okay.
So my father would shout and you would run if you don't take care.
Wow.
You will run. But we didn't know he had some form of discipline in the house.
Okay.
He had 3 wives.
Okay.
But it was difficult for you to tell who was your actual mother because of the way my father raised us. Now, what betides you if by 6:30 we are about to eat supper and you are not enough? Because there was a collective bowl which we all had to dip our hands in to eat. My father will come round and make sure that you are all there. If you are not there, you come back, you know that yes, you are not in for supper.
But despite that disciplinary measures, how did you relate with your parents?
Well, it was very, very cordial, even though we feared them. But it was very cordial. As for my mother, no, we're so close.
Okay.
In fact, on our side, I was the only son of my father, my mother.
Okay.
The others, they were 5. They were all women, but I was the only one. But the others, we had brothers and
Yeah.
so on. But we related very well. Farm, we all go to the farm. When you finish, you go and fetch firewood and then carry back home. You know, that relationship was there, but there was still some distance
Yeah.
between us.
And then respect, so to say.
Yes, that respect.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, you've already told me the schools you attended, but
Yeah.
what jobs have you taken up until when you retired?
I told you after I left sixth form, I did some small. In fact, when I finished sixth form, I started working as a library attendant at Damascus.
Okay.
Yes, when BA was our father, our everything.
Okay.
The Alhaji BA Saani.
Okay.
And he had just gone to Ghana Secondary School as the headmaster. So when I left sixth form, I told you he contacted Alhaji Baramosi.
Okay.
And Alhaji Baramosi said, that he could get some small job for me to do.
Yeah.
You see how lucky we are.
Yeah.
And when you compare it to the current
Situation.
crop of youth, the jobs were somehow available in a way. So I was given the job of a library attendant at Damascus. But unfortunately, I had serious problems with the librarian. I don't know for what for what other reason the man didn't want to see me.
Wow.
I don't know, maybe because it was Alhaji Badamosi who recruited me direct. I'll come early in the morning, then he'll go and report me that I didn't sweep the library. Meanwhile, there was someone to clean, but I was patient. So one day I went and told Alhaji, this is the situation. He said, okay, I shouldn't worry. The following week, I had a letter to come and teach general science in Ghana Secondary School.
Wow.
So I moved from Damascus to Ghana Secondary School to teach science, where Alhaji Baramosi was
the headmaster.
Yeah, was the headmaster. So you can imagine the excitement in me as teacher, a sixth form leaver. All of a sudden, I had become
high school teacher.
a teacher, and then getting that respect. Teacher. Even though I was small, some of those I thought are now.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of those I thought are those early stages. Yes.
All right. So from there, I guess you moved later on to Yendi Senior High School assistant
Yes,
headmaster.
that was around 89.
89.
Yes, I moved on to Yale Senior Secondary School as the assistant headmaster of the school.
Okay.
I went and met Mr. Pusman.
Usman.
Yeah, he was the headmaster and I was the assistant headmaster. Let me be frank, I really enjoyed that job.
Wow.
Yeah, when I went there as the assistant headmaster, the man respected me.
Wow.
He gave me a lot of work.
Opportunity.
Yes, I thought, I thought I had come to a place to prepare me adequately for future positions.
Okay.
You asked me to write letters, correspondence. I had to take charge of some of the correspondence. Then I'll go to him. He will read through and tell me that, as a headmaster, please, go and redo this, go and redo that. You go and sit down. Sometimes you become annoyed, but inwardly you were really, you could see that this man was really teaching you the right things. So I enjoyed my short stay in Yale Secondary School as an assistant headmaster.
Okay.
Then let me continue from that side.
Yes.
There was a time they were started with this senior secondary school concept.
Okay.
They had opened up so many senior secondary schools. Kalpahin Senior Secondary, Vitin Senior Secondary, Gushogo Senior Secondary, etc. So they asked us to apply for headships.
Okay.
Being a assistant headmaster in the secondary school. No, I said no, I won't go to this new school, so I won't apply. Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman called me and told me that I should apply to get to Vitin Senior Secondary School. Okay. I said no, I wouldn't. I actually didn't tell him openly, but when I went back to Yendi, I didn't come back. So he realized that
you weren't interested.
I wasn't interested. And so they couldn't get people to fill all the vacancies.
Okay.
So they called us a meeting at Tamale Polytechnic. My headmaster told me to represent him. I came. After the meeting, the regional director, then Mr. Diakben, had some letters. So he called me that, oh, Mr. Saani, I have some letters for the headmaster of the secondary school. Can you come and pick them? I went to the table, high table, picked them. And I saw my name on one of the letters. So I quickly opened it. When I opened it, that I'm glad to inform you that you have been appointed, acting headmaster of Gushebu Secondary School. Meanwhile, they asked me to apply for VTIN and I refused. They had appointed me headmaster of Gushebu Secondary School. Let me be frank with you, that day I couldn't eat. After the meeting of Charles, other things, they prepared the nice meals.
Yeah.
My mouth became bitter. Me going to Gushebu Secondary School. What am I going to do there? I didn't know the place. I had never gone to Gushebu.
Okay.
So I took the letter, went to Mr. Kusuma. I told him that this was the problem. He said, oh, try, go and see. I took the mommy truck. The trucks they used to load these cows and everything.
Yes.
To Gushebu that time.
Then,
it was not easy. You couldn't get any means of transport. So I went one day. When I went to Gushebu, I went to the assembly. I met the district secretary then.
Okay.
They used to call him Alasan Farah.
Okay.
He was a disciplinarian to discipline.
Okay.
I went and greeted him and I told him that, oh, I have been posted here to head the secondary school. I gave him his copy. And then said, oh, wait, Amaraba. I should sit outside down. Now, on the school, he told me that, no, they had not yet completed the school. They had put up a building like a mosque.
Okay.
Divided it into two, and it wasn't plastered, it wasn't roofed, nothing. So they told me that they were going to roof it and plaster it. But meanwhile, we should be using the district assembly's hall as our school. As our school.
Administration,
Yes,
classroom,
everything. In that same room. So I came back, went to Mr. Kusma and explained to him. And then accommodation, where was I to sleep? There was no place for me. They took me to some house. It wasn't conducive. These feeder routes, they have built cottages along the road.
Okay.
Highway, they are now abandoned. They were abandoned.
Okay.
So I saw one of them abandoned that way. I went, we cleaned that place. And that was where I started as my own accommodation. It wasn't easy. Wow. Then Monday, from assistant headmaster, with teachers over 40
students
pay allegiance to me, teachers in
okay.
Yendi Secondary School.
Okay, yeah.
Now I had come to that Gushebu
cool.
Secondary School.
Okay.
Headmaster, a new title.
Yes.
Yeah, so head of all the masters. And when I went, not even a single teacher was there. I was the headmaster, I was the maths teacher, I was the agric science teacher, I was the science teacher, I was the English teacher. So sometimes I'll teach. When I'm tired, I tell the children, let's go home. Then you all agree. We all close. And then after some time, they sent us some national service personnel. One Gamega and one other guy. The two of them came. And we're still using the assembly hall. When they came and saw the situation, they went back. One of them never came back. Only that Gamega came for some time. And after about 6 months or so, he had appointment with one cotton company in Wa. They ran away and left me. So I continued like that with the boys. And believe me, Gushebu has been a very interesting place I have went.
Wow.
At that time, no water. We had to go to the dam to fetch water. Accommodation was a problem. That time, lights had not yet come to Gushebu.
Okay, so my producers are signaling me for a commercial break. Okay. We'll come back and continue a little on this. Probably let's go for a very quick commercial break. When I come back, we'll continue the conversation. Don't go away, we are back shortly. Thank you so much for staying on My Northern Achiever with me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli. I am a son of Musaku, and you can support and sponsor My Northern Achiever or advertise on the program. Just get in touch with the marketing team of Sagani TV or any of the numbers that you see on the screens right now. Thank you so much, and my guest today still remains Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman Saani, popularly known as Shani, and we're talking about his life at Wishogu Secondary School. But unfortunately, because of time, we are not going to delve more into it because we all know what he has done. He was able to turn the school around to making it one of the best that it is today in the north. And so, sir, what I want to ask is, fast forward, you were transferred to Yendi Secondary School to become the headmaster.
Yes.
How did you receive the news going back to the school you were an assistant headmaster too before?
Well, I wasn't too surprised, but I was elated.
Okay.
Yes, I was elated that after staying in Wishago for about 6 years, I was being transferred to a bigger school. So I had bigger responsibilities.
Okay.
So I moved to Yendi.
Okay.
Even though it was a sad one because they were transferring my mentor, Mr. Pusma.
Okay.
And I was to take over from him. So it was sad for me, but it was a duty. I had to take it over. I had to take over that.
So then came the name Manshani. I don't know whether you got it from Kushebu or from Yendi. Where did you get this name from, and how did it come about?
Yeah, Manshani. You know the man Manshani. I Shani.
Yes.
That is the meaning of it.
Okay.
My students in Kushebu, at a certain time, you need to be stern. At a certain time, you need to combine, certain types of leadership qualities to ensure that you achieve results.
Okay.
I went there, and a lot of them still had the perception that, that, they will come to school today, tomorrow they won't come. They come to the school and you see them running after the girls and beating. Wow, you see. So I had to sit them down, talk to them, that some of these girls you are beating, they might get jobs for you in future. Even if they don't go ahead of you, they might support you for future. So I want that relationship. Then for classes, I never took it. When we started getting in teachers, if you don't come to school for some days, and then you come, I'll tell you that go home and bring your father. If you will insist, I will tell you that Manshan and Kara, I come to Balabara.
Okay.
You see that?
Okay.
Man and Kara. So the students picked up that thing.
Yeah.
So when you are passing, you say, Manshani. That was how
so
Manshani.
the name just. Okay.
Manshani, that I have sacked you.
Okay.
So you go. In actual fact, I wanted to instill some discipline in them to achieve certain.
And that brings me to my next question. You are known for your no-nonsense style of leadership. And how did you develop this leadership style?
Well, I believe that we copied people. I'm not going to be biased in a way, but if you have attended Tamasco, you see, you imbibe some culture in you. That culture of discipline. Because those teachers who taught us during that time will always talk to you about discipline. They will always talk to you about respect for authority. Respect. When we were in Tamasco, we feared from 2 students more than even masters.
Wow.
Because of the discipline. So you will fear. Or, sometimes not necessarily the fear, but it just came in that you have to do this at this time, you have to do that. So you you inculcate that one in you. But then my parents too. My parents.
All right.
My father was a disciplinarian.
Okay.
And my father would not tolerate nonsense. You can't go to any house, stay for long and come back. Or
at any time you want.
No. That my father. So you see that all my siblings have that discipline in them, added to what we had in school.
Okay, but how difficult has it been to remain steadfast to such style of leadership?
Yes. At a certain stage, when I was growing older, I had to change
Your ways.
because times change.
Yeah.
And then society is not static,
pressure.
it's dynamic.
Yeah.
And so if you don't change to fit in, then you will be an outcast.
Okay.
But people thought, I was what the
wicked
students would
person.
say, a wicked master.
Yeah.
But no. You see, if you are in school, you should know the house you are coming from.
Okay.
If you are from a very poor house, you come to a school like Damascus, you are lucky to be there in the first place. You are given meals, everything, you attend classes, everything free. And then you don't realize that you are from a family and you should aspire to get something before you leave. I'm sorry you wouldn't have a future. So in school, we knew where we were coming from. And we knew that to change the fortunes of the family, you have to work hard so that you will get a good job, you will get a job, and then you will be able to buy at least a piece of cloth for a mother.
Wow.
Because we knew where you were coming from. And that was what I wanted my people. You went and we should go like this. A lot of them came from very poor families. Yendi, a lot of them. So you have to talk to them, you have to tell them, if you don't make it here, you will never make it. Your mother will continue looking after you from childhood to adulthood, and then will continue to feed you. So what sort of person will you be? You should turn the fortunes of your family around. You should be able to buy your mother a piece of cloth. You should be able to buy your father a bicycle if he's walking. But if you want them to continue feeding you, feeding your children,
taking care of you and your own immediate family.
So that was sometimes I will become very much annoyed and hurt when I see a very poor child being brought to the disciplinary committee for misbehavior.
Okay, so what, in your opinion, has accounted for the gross indiscipline in our schools today, especially the senior high schools? In fact, do you, in the first place, believe that there is gross indiscipline in these schools these days?
A lot.
So what
Not in all schools.
Okay.
In the southern sector,
Okay.
let me be specific. Yes, in schools like Pamper, Achimota, Pokuwa,
Prosec.
yes, Prosec. Even though there are traits of indiscipline, but most of the students are disciplined. If it is time for you to do this, they are there. If it is time to sleep, the students are there. So I always find it difficult to understand why our schools in the northern sector will face challenges of indiscipline. Our schools are left loose. Parents do not support. Look, when I was a headmaster, we open school 1 week, 2 weeks, students are not in school. And the 2 weeks will never come back. Look, I feel bad when these things happen. I had a son. I sent my son to Prempeh College.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go to Prempeh College and they won't allow you to see the child.
Wow.
Because it is not a visited day. Our schools, 24 hours, people are in our schools. Our children, my house, I sit by the road, you see a lot of children, school children, pass in the night. Sometimes you see some of the ladies in hijab, black hijab, going to town. What do you have to do in town? What do you have to do? Nothing. You just go sit with your friends, chat and laugh, and then you get them. And then some of them have taken to smoking. These hard
Drugs,
and
tramadol, and all of those.
You see very young ones. You see. So I believe a lot of it is coming from the homes. Our parents. Will my son do that? My son can't smoke. No. My son can't drink. No. I have 3 boys and 2 girls. No, they can do that. You see. No.
Because of the upbringing.
Yeah, because of the upbringing. Because of the upbringing.
So for you, generally, our upbringing in our houses today,
it's a major cause. We blame teachers for nothing. Yes, a few of the teachers are recalcitrant, a few. But we cannot blame the teachers for the serious indiscipline in our schools. Because when our children leave the schools, they come to our homes to sleep.
So this leads me to my next question. What is your view on the ban of corporal punishment in our second cycle institutions?
Yeah,
and things like demotions and dismissal, all of these have been banned by GS. What do you think about this particular,
Yeah, during our time, we still killed, we still slapped, and I know I gave some few slaps.
Yes. In fact, somebody told me on Facebook that you slapped him once.
Okay. Maybe he misbehaved.
Okay.
Yes.
That he didn't stick in. And he wanted to know whether, it was the best way to have.
Yes, at that time it was the best way. But now it is not the best way.
Okay.
Times change, as I explained. Society is dynamic.
Okay.
That's it. So as time goes on, new things come in.
Okay.
As time goes on, there are improved ways of making a student understand that he or she is wrong.
But will it work without corporal punishment?
Yeah, corporal punishment, you see, the problem of corporal punishment is that sometimes it is not controlled and it can lead to harm to the pupil.
But for me, trust me, in those days when there was corporal punishment, at least a little, you were my headmaster in Ghana school.
Okay.
I completed in 2005. And so the mention of my Shani alone would make you shiver. I remember in our Form 1 or so, some guys went to Kobimago and stole a fowl.
Yes.
They nearly killed them.
Yes.
Then you had to go there and rescue them, and it was an issue. You were talking about it at assembly, and you were saying we went and they were insulting you that you don't know how to keep these small boys, and you were so angry about it. You had to dismiss these people, and these disciplinary measures were things that put a lot of us in check. But today it is no longer there, and so anybody thinks you can do anything and go free. So everybody for himself. Don't you think that there is the need for us to revisit the past?
No, Ghana is a signatory to the Child Rights
Organization
Convention or something of that sort. We are signatories. We are saying that the child has the right. You see, and so there are things you can no longer do. Once it is a law, you can't break the law.
Okay.
Because I was always against breaking laws.
Yeah.
So now I won't encourage any other person to break the law.
Okay.
Once it is a law,
we all have to go with
but
it.
The parent in the house
should
do his best to ensure that his child does not go contrary to what is laid down.
Okay, so what are your assessments of free senior high school transfer? Do you think it's a good policy?
Now, the policy of free senior high is a very, very good one.
Okay. Very good one.
Yes. Everything is provided by government.
Okay.
So you go in and then you come out. It's a laudable idea.
Okay.
In fact, I like it. But when you say but, it means that there are challenges.
Okay.
And if we are able to iron out these challenges, I think it will be very fine for the country.
Okay.
Yes. Everybody goes to school. I know. No charges. And you can go to Wesley College, you can go to Tamar School, and you are not paying anything.
Okay.
So the poor man's child can be there, the rich man's child can be there.
Okay.
I'm for it.
Okay.
But if it is properly managed,
okay,
I am for free senior.
Okay, so like I said before, I was privileged to be under you as headmaster, and a lot more people are eulogizing you and coming to read some messages, to you about how people felt about your leadership style.
Okay.
And during my days in Ghana school, we cancelled these Friday religious meetings by the Muslim students. It was like war or heaven was going to break loose on you, because many were imams who would use it as a sermon. In fact, we called you a lodge member because of this. Why did you choose to cancel this, to bring about this controversial policy of canceling religious talks?
See, you were that time, you were young.
To understand.
Yes, you were small.
Yes.
Your parents had sent you to the school to do something. You had to achieve something. You remember?
Yeah.
On Fridays, when you were in the mosque, a lot of the children were moving to town.
Yeah.
Majority of them were Muslims.
That is true. That is true.
Two, the Christians will move to the classrooms and they were in the class studying. All of them, they were in the class studying. They will not go away. But our Muslim children were always in town, and you go to the place where you used to have that Friday sermon.
Yeah.
Very few Muslims.
Yeah.
But Muslims were the majority in Ghana's secondary school. Now, so we sat down and looked at this. Now, are we not doing more harm to our children? Are we not causing a lot of harm to our uncles' children, our brothers' children? Let us do something about it. So we said, okay. As for God, He accepts prayers anytime. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So for the Friday, you all go for prayer. Sunday, worship for everybody. Even if it's a nationalist, you can all go. Hey, I'm anti-Islam. I'm fighting.
And that time you bought a very nice Porsche car. It was a Mazda car.
Yeah.
So it confirmed the fact that you are a lodge member.
Sorry, I'm not hearing it.
Yes, that's what we were saying. They were saying that you have entered a lodge, and so it's against Islam, and that is why you are fighting.
You see that my junior brother is now riding it, that Mazda car.
Okay.
That Mazda car was given to me by my junior brother who was working at EcoBank.
Okay.
Abdul-Rahaman.
Okay.
So that was the time he gave me. And incidentally, around that time, Mr. Drusin Indo also bought his car.
Yes.
I have never been
Mr.
a lodge
Indo
member.
Shaka.
I've never. That's telling me.
He went to India.
Yes, for some short.
And when he came back, he was also a disciplinarian.
Yes.
He could give you a knock on your head, and you go back to the dormitory, and you will never regret that. You will never forget that knock. So when he came back,
We were calling him
Shaka.
You see, so this was the thing. I never.
Interesting time.
Yes, at that time.
Okay.
Oh, it was a beautiful Mazda, and
I love the
yes.
car, and I always told myself that when I grow up, I'll buy that car.
But it was the pain. You realize that when I came to Hamale Metro, I had a lot of problem with the Muslims and Imams.
Okay.
I had a lot of problem with some of them and some of the proprietors of our English Arabic schools.
Okay, so in fact, apart from this, there are so many allegations.
Go on, no problem.
Some of them. When I remember them, it's just funny. There was this one that you have juju, and that anytime you call by Shani, you will see him in front of you. I like that. It was interesting. Anytime you say by Shani, you will see him. And there were also these allegations that you will give the pantry women juju to put in our food so that we will fear you. Oh yes, all those allegations.
Meanwhile, some of the pantry women had children in the school. So they would have told the children. I have never done such a thing.
No, it's just I believe strongly that it's because of the way we were fearless. Yes. I remember once we had a demonstration, juniors against seniors, and it was the prefects wanted to beat us, and we said our seniors said no. It was very chaotic. That was the time there was state of emergency and curfew, and the noise was too much. Around 2 a.m., you came from your bungalow, and you came to something that a lot of teachers will fear. You walked to the aggrieved students and you addressed everybody. And when you were coming and everybody saw you, we all stood stiff. And so people were inclined to believe some of these allegations, but I think they were just allegations, and I wouldn't believe or buy into any of them any day. Yes, so these are just some of the.
I'm a Muslim. I have never. They forgot that I was a Muslim, and then they will say this. I'm anti-Islam. I'm anti this. No, I wanted the good of my children.
Okay.
You at that time, Ghana school, the school won the national debate.
Yes.
The national debate, the whole country, Ghana school went and won.
Yes.
I gave my all out to it. That we should make a mark. And the students really made that mark.
Wow. Wow.
So, no, I don't believe in those things.
In fact, it's interesting. It's interesting. I feel very much honored, very much elated that I'm sitting next to this great man and having a conversation with him. And I'm hoping and I believe that you, the one watching out there, is also enjoying and picking some lessons from this, disciplinarian. But we are going to go for a very quick commercial break. We'll come back and talk about his farming activities and then other societal issues before we conclude on this session. Do not go away, stick and stay. We are back shortly.
I am Honorable Salfu Said, Northern Regional Minister. I want to appeal to the general public that they should keep on watching my Northern Achiever.
I am Mohammed Yakubu Mustafa, headmaster Bimbala Senior High School. I don't always miss my Northern Achiever on Sagani TV.
Thank you so much for staying on with me on my Northern Achiever, and you are welcome back from the commercial break. And my guest today still remains Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman Saani, former retired educationist. If you want to look good like I look, you see my barber is being cut by Shanti Mutala of Universe Haircuts in Yendi. Wherever you are in the world, in fact, if you want to look good, you have to get to Shanti and you look good like I do. So, Alhaji, before we went for the break, I wanted us to talk about your farming activities. I know you to be a farmer, and I remember around 96, thereabout, or so, you used to farm in my father's rice farmlands, Musakumo of Blessed Memory. Yes. Do you still farm?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Okay. And how has farming helped you?
Well, financially, it has helped me a lot. Yes, apart from my salary, I used to farm and make extra income.
Okay.
Yes, but now I'm on retirement.
Okay.
I can't rely on the sea for all this.
Okay.
So it's helped me a lot physically. I move around, I go to the farm. No, I don't actually get myself very much,
Okay. We cannot talk about your life without talking about your life in Zabzugu as the District Director of Education and in Tamale as the Metro Director of Education.
Yes.
How has it been being a District Director of Education or a Director of Education, so to say?
Well, moving from the secondary school to the District Education Office was not easy at all.
Okay.
But as you work, you learn more.
Okay.
Because from the secondary school administration is a bit different from the district directorates. So when I left Ghana school and then I moved to Zabzugu district as the district director of education, I initially had a few challenges.
Okay.
But I was very lucky. There was one man there, Mr. Nkansa.
Okay.
Mr. Nkansa was a seasoned educationist. He was an assistant director.
Okay.
And I relied so much on him. He taught me a lot, and within a very short time, I picked it up. Yes, but I think that I owe my success at that level to this gentleman, may he so rest in peace, Mr. Nkansa, who was in Yendi. He was my assistant.
Okay. So, what reforms can you remember that you brought to the district?
We had serious absenteeism in Zabzogo.
Okay.
Now, for example,
and the disciplinarian had been posted there.
For example, we had teachers in Tamale teaching at Zabzogo.
Okay.
Teachers from Yendi teaching at Zabzogo. And they were doing it daily.
Okay.
So you can imagine that they were not going to school.
Wow.
And this I will not tolerate. So I stamp my authority.
Typically
if you know you won't come, please resign. Stay in Tamale or Yendi and let someone take over for me. Who is interested? Take over for me.
Wow.
And we were so serious on it. There was someone who was sitting at Warbawu, coming from Tamale. And the children would call him Thursday, because he used to come to school only on Thursday. And Friday he leaves until the following week, Thursday. So the children were calling him Thursday. So I got to know of it, went there, and I realized that it was true. So I had to move him. In Zapsoko, when you go to Zapsoko now, they are all praising me.
Yes.
Because these are a group of children, intelligent children, hardworking children, but without teachers.
Then you moved eventually to Tamale Metro. How different was it from Zapsoko district?
Zapsoko had a lot of people teachers.
Okay.
Unqualified teachers.
Okay.
But some of them were willing to deliver.
Okay.
Tamale had so many teachers.
Okay.
In some schools, you had more than 2 teachers in the classroom.
Wow.
So when I saw it, I said, wow, why was I suffering in Zapsoko? In Tamale. But the problem of Tamale, I think that maybe next time.
We'll talk about this another day. But just give me a tip of the iceberg. Probably.
Litigation. Teachers will not go to school when you block their salaries. Problem.
Wow.
Problem for you. If for any reason someone leaves for school without study leave with pay, and then you remove the name, you send you to court.
Hey.
So when I was in Tamale, I'm either at Yoko, either at
High Court.
Commission on Human Rights
Okay.
and Administrative Justice, or the High Court. So when you are in Tamale as a director, you should be ready to face all these things.
Wow.
But if you are steadfast, if you know that you are doing the right thing, look, you are always free. I used to tell the teachers that if I get to the middle of the road in Tamale and any teacher comes out to say that the director collected 1 CD from me before recruiting me, I'll resign that day.
Wow.
So I could take any decision that I wanted. I could deal with a teacher who was recalcitrant. I would be impartial. And in that case, that was why they respected me. That was why I had no problems till I retired.
Wow. So there was this perception that you were being groomed to be made the regional director of education of the Northern Region.
Who was grooming me? You always know, if you are in a job, you aspire to get to the top.
So you put up your best.
You put up your best. When it comes,
fair enough.
Fair enough. If it doesn't come, that is all. I did my best. I didn't get to the top, and I never regret it.
So do you have any regrets? 7 GS.
No. I don't have any regrets.
And if you had the opportunity to change anything in GS, what would it be?
To change?
Anything at all.
What will I do? No, I can't answer this question because what will I change in GS? I'm not a policy maker. I'm not. In GS, we only implement government approved policies.
Yes, that's right.
With at the pre-tertiary level.
That's true. Okay. My headmaster of the Bimbala Senior High School, Mr. Alhaji Mustafa, he taught under you as the English teacher at Ghana School. He sends his warm greetings to you.
Thank you.
Yes, he says he thanks you a lot for how you have groomed him as an individual. Now let me read some Facebook messages. Now Hussein Mohammed says that my Shani, my director, my mentor, everything, may God richly bless him. Yakubu Sedu says, hello my Shani, we adore you, we are proud of you, and we thank God for your life. We continue to pray to God to give you a long life. Amen. And then Sadat Nabila Ablai, he was saying that you gave him a big slap. He gave him a slap in the face for not sticking in. I should ask you whether that was the only and best reformative measure.
Oh, sorry.
So, Alhaji says, sorry, he was just trying to straighten you. So, do not begrudge him for that. Tawfiq Bida says, I understand he's a great farmer. What advice does he have for the youth who want to venture into farming? Do you have any advice to anyone who wants to venture?
They should take it up seriously.
Okay, so take farming up seriously. It will help you.
It's not bad.
Mohammed Awal says that they are waiting to see this live on air. Mohammed Awal again says that how many wives have you and children, and how many are males, how many are females, and what are their levels of education? Okay, so we just say how many wives and children do you have?
I have 1 wife.
Okay.
I have 6 children. Okay. 3 boys and 2 girls.
Okay, so your answer, we can't answer all the questions. Yeah. Mr. Shani is one of the people who benefited from early marriages. Is this true?
don't know, because I left the university before I married.
Okay,
I don't
that
know.
is Yakubu Alasan. Yakubu Alasan, it means he never married early because after university you wouldn't call it early marriage. Mojib Santana says, okay, he was trying to answer somebody else's. Haladu Bashiru said that you are such an intelligent educationist. I have no questions but to show appreciation to his lifestyle of leadership, to his style of leadership when I was a student in Ghana school. He used to personally move from class to class to ensure his teachers were in and teaching. That is typically, of you. It is true. I observed it, and even you had the time to go to dormitories and chase students out, even though the other teachers were doing it. What was the motivation?
I knew that people had brought their children for us to educate.
And you needed to
And
get
they were
results.
small. Sometimes the students, they don't know.
Yeah.
So you are mature. You should be able to direct them. I was only directing them.
So his message continues that I can remember there was a day we went to a biology class at the lab. Our biology teacher was not in, and all of a sudden Alhaji came to check on him. He asked the class monitor about our biology teacher and went further to find out the topic we were. We were in turbidity. Alhaji asked for chalk and continued from where our biology teacher stopped. It was interesting seeing him teach us. Alhaji also made sure that all science and agric day students were moved to the boarding house. We were forever grateful. Yeah, is it? So why did you move all science and agric?
Because of practicals.
Oh, okay.
The day students will always miss practicals.
Okay. All right. Then Abdul Karim Abubakar Idi also says that he has that you have any regrets. He has answered it, and yes, I think you have. Alhaji has answered that question already. Sahabi Wakaso Mpaya says it's an advantage for me to hear him for the first time. Yeah, somebody is waiting to see this. How will he compare leading teachers in Tamale to that of Zabzulu? That what you were saying about the litigations, I think is the answer. That's Isaac Muhammad. Yes. Abubakar Osman Banda, I am an old student of Busek. We were told he was the first headmaster of Busek, and they used to call him Shani. In fact, my house was even named after him. I would like to know how he came by the name. I think we have been yes, we've answered that question already. And for Bushegu Secondary to name a house after you, how does it feel?
I feel elated. I'm not dead, but there's something to show that I worked there. If you die and then they name a house after me, I'll not even be there to see it.
Yeah.
But this is the case. They are honoring me when I'm still alive. Wow. And I appreciate that very much.
Justice Abdul-Rahman Salafu says, you are one of the best servants of the North. Abdul-Rahman Isaaku Bala Ilori says that, what regrets do you have for being in GS? He has answered it. And what would you fix in GS if you had the power? He has no power, so he cannot fix nothing. And Musa Al-Aziz Ayaba, I would be glad if you can find out from him if there is a platform for old educationists like your kind, people to help shaping the educational sector in Gabon.
Yes, we have an association of retired directors.
Okay, so he continues by saying that we still need old brains like yours to help in shaping it, And then Yakubu Saani said, difficult as we perceived you when he was our headmaster in secondary school, we seem to admire him now as we feel the positivity of his nurturing. MN Asananaji says, this is an accomplished academic and an administrator. God bless you. Now, this is what I'm going to end the Facebook with. There is this message from a brother from the Almanchi family in Yendi. Now, this is what he says. Ahmed Tijani Ahmed. He says, gratitude to Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman Saani, educationist. I have a personal gratitude to pay to him, but for him, my education would have truncated during my second year in secondary school at the Yendi Senior High School. My mother and I could only raise part of my admission fee and could not afford the rest of the outstanding fees. Throughout my third year in school, I had lost the breadwinners of my family at the time and could barely believe that one day I would obtain an SSSCE certificate. My father and an elder brother, who were fully dedicated to my education, had passed on to glory right after completing junior high school. Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman Saani, came to understand my predicament only after several soups and roll calls for students who failed to pay their fees. He eventually schemed out a plan and found me on my seat in class one morning, a day I thought that would be all and end of my ambition of attaining greater heights in academia. Little did I know Mr. Shani was an angel sent to rescue the innocent orphan. He politely invited me from my seat, held my hand to visit every class in our block that morning. Right after, on our way towards his office, he gently asked, "Who is your father?" Before he could end with the question, a sea of tears flowed down my eyes. He never went further, but diverted the route and discourse to his house and made me join him in the dining table for lunch of the day. After the lunch, he escorted me towards my class with repeated assurances, never think of school fees again, but study hard. These were the words to him. This was the goodbye message for the day. So for me, he was not only my teacher, headmaster, or elder brother, but my father reincarnated, my biological father and late brother, Alhaji Ahmadu Osman Ali Manchi, and Abdul Majid Ahmadu, respectively, wished for me an ending education to its peak, and today I'm humbled to say that I am a PhD student through his determination. That is you and effort. Thank you, sir, and same to the many fathers and mothers out there. So this is something I read and I felt.
But I'm honored. I don't even remember.
Wow.
I know I used to help a lot, but it's touching.
Wow. So thank you so much, Ahmed Tijani Ahmed, for your message and all that for that.
I'm grateful.
Okay.
I'm grateful.
This is where time will permit us for today, and it's been excellent having my own headmaster. Don't go away yet, because I'm going to come and I'll be signing out by mimicking what Mr. Alhaji Abdul-Rahaman Saani used to tell us at assembly ground. So don't worry, I'm going to try to do my best and do the way he used to say it at assembly ground. And so we would like to say a big shout out to Mr. Wilberforce, the headmaster of Tamasco. Thank you so very much. In fact, you were keen on us getting to Alhaji Shani, and today we have him, and so we thank you so much for everything. I would like to thank my class teachers. Teachers are who made us what we are today. I thank you so much, Sweet Mother. Sweet Mother was my class 3 and class 6 teacher. You always ask of me, your real name is Mr. Mohammed Zakaria. And then there's one Mr. Mohammed Abdallah, my primary 4 and 5 teacher. He was popularly called Risky. He was a very, very huge disciplinarian. He would not leave anything to chance. He would discipline you and make you read. And so thank you, sir, for all that you did for us at that tender age, which made a lot of us, what we are today. I also like to thank and send greetings to my religious and moral education teacher at Islamic No. 2 Junior High School, Mr. Abdul-Mumin. You are now at Abati Junior High School. You don't joke with my Northern Achiever. Thank you so much, sir, for the encouragement and everything that you have done for us. Mr. Idris Chipra, also a retired educationist in Yendi. You are my headmaster at Islamic No. 2 Junior High School, and you are an uncle too. Thank you so much, sir, and I send greetings to you. I would also like to send greetings to Alhaji Abdul-Latif Kambala inside Tema and all Tema people who don't joke with this program. Thank you so much. I'm going to now do the necessary thing. Okay, so let me take a mic. I need to get a mic. Mr. Shani will come to us, and this is how you will hold the mic, like this, and you will say, "Good morning, students. You see, we want you to excel. When you excel, you make your parents proud, and you make we, the teachers, proud. So you have to excel." Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. It has been me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, on my Northern Achiever on Sagani TV, my crew and everybody. Thank you so much, and until I come your way again next week, this has been me, Abdul-Jalil Naabeli, signing off. Bye.